Alright, so today's video, we're watching a Plat DPS on PC. They're going to be playing Sojourn, Ash Tracer. They say, alright, so this game went fairly well. It was super close, but after the first round, my other DPS told me that I was basically throwing and that I should pick Sombra, as that would easily win us the game. I thought, as I do not play Sombra that much, I should stick with the character I'm comfortable with. However, he continued to say I was the problem because I didn't have as many kills or damage as him. He was playing Bastion, but I felt as though I was doing my job fairly well on DPS, applying good pressure and denying flanks and such. Please tell me where I went wrong and where I can improve, but also, was the Bastion right? Should I have just switched Sombra? Would the game have been easier? Let me know, and I'm looking forward to hearing how I can improve and grow as a player in this game. The classic go Sombra and the game will be easier. Now, my first take on this is the only way that I would say a Sombra would make the game a lot easier is for two reasons here. One, there's a Widow that's dominating the whole team, which, once again, if the Bastion's telling you to swap and not swapping off of Bastion, then there's a... Anyway. Point is that like it's a team effort to counter the Widow. Number two, if the other team goes Wrecking Ball or Doomfist and is just wreaking havoc on your team. Outside of that, you probably don't have to go Sombra if you don't want to. All right, and even then, you don't have to. So we'll see. Oh, nice start there, by the way. I love that. I love that aggressive Sojourn, like whatever that ability's called. I already forget. The AOE. Good job. That was 20% ult charge for free. Always try to get that early value. That can go a long way. Yep. You know, that was one of those weird spots where, like, I'm not gonna fault you for getting rolled there because you had like a Tracer on you in the back, and then you also had a Widow in front of you, so you had to like kind of just make a decision there, and at least you decisively made a decision. Also, side note here. This weapon skin is so cool on this Sojourn skin. I've never seen this one before. Like, I mean, I know it existed, but like, I've never like seen it from like anybody's point of view. This is cool. I just kind of think it's cool. I don't know. I like it. I never saw this one before. I'll make it up to you. Hang out. So far, everything seems pretty normal here. I don't think it's like any... You're kind of trying to, like, get to where everybody's at. Bastion made a good play there. Like, definitely made a good play. Yeah, I think it's from last season. Yeah, I mean, I think it more likely is because, like, look at the theme of it. Yeah, it would make sense. I don't know. So far, so good. Widow isn't really dominating too hard. I mean, obviously they killed you, but, like, it wasn't like they were, like, taking over the lobby. So far... I haven't seen a reason as to why you would have to go Sombra. Obviously, there's a lot of this game left, so... for you personally, it's been an okay game for you so far. I think, like... I want you to remember one thing, because I see something you're doing wrong here. Sojourn is a more of a long-range hero. I'm not saying you're going to play Sojourn like you would play Widow, for example, like across the map. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say that you're going to do that. At the same time, I would be wary of playing close to them like you're playing Cassidy. Like, I want you to find a much better range. And, like, for example, if you're going to shoot him in a doorway down here, why not be, like, at an angle over here where you can also hide and, like, find the Widow? When you go here, you're a little bit more susceptible. So, just always remember this part of the high ground is a little bit better for you. And you always have disengages back. I always try to tell people with positioning, look for your escape as well as like the benefit and the value you get. So if like you're gonna get value from having high ground up here and also be able to like shoot it like the Widow and help in these doorways, you also have a viable escape, right? If you're here, your viable escape is only here or here, but both keep you in the same spot where you're out of position, right? So I think obviously you survive that, but it's on as safe as a play, and like a lot of time you get traded. Don't mind the ult for now, but once again, I think it's because like you're not in an ideal spot. It's you could be in a better spot to be able to like have a much more efficient ultimate. You got to kill, and that's all that matters, right? It worked out, but when's he on a mythic? I have no idea. I'm sorry. All right. Do. So far, yeah. I think an issue you have is you're defaulting yourself to spots that just aren't... You're not playing, like, to the fullest that you could by just, like, sitting in this corner right here. You know a Tracer's here, but you don't need to sit down here. Because, like, yes, you're isolating the Tracer, but the Tracer's also keeping you in a spot that is, like, advantageous for the other team. Like, do you want to be right here? Out of curiosity. Like, I know your team is, like, ulted and, like, you might be able to... But you don't want to be there, right? Like, why have that be your starting position? You know what I mean? Like, why be in front of a Brig ultimate if you don't have to be in front of a Brig ultimate? And I think that's, like, one thing I want you to focus on going forward is, while I don't think your position is inherently bad in the sense of like, oh, this is like ridiculous, they're gonna get a free kill on you. I just think that like you're choosing the worst of the positions you could go to around the map so that it's always gonna feel like you're brawling them and you're like in this intense battle when in reality you could just be in the back vibing. And I think that's going to be a little bit better for you when you're playing Sojourn. To continue on about the question about Sombra, I still haven't seen any real opportunity here for you to go Sombra, unless you wanted to just go shoot a Widow the whole time, and that's it. And even then, I feel like the Widow would just, like, swap off, and then you just lose that value to begin with, so. It's making sense. I see it, though. The Widow gets a kill on Bastion, automatically you need to go Sombra, which, I guess this poses my next question. If the Bastion on your team is so adamant on getting a Sombra, why don't they...
This sub is the best thing that happened
why don't they go
since
Sombra?
my son was born.
Vegas Guy, thanks for the 4 months of the tier 1. Thank you. What? Thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like my take is that if you're looking at just like what you would run comp-wise here, what would be the reason to swap off the Sojourn in comparison to the Bastion? Because the Bastion would lose a lot of value on this map. So, why is your Bastion just telling you you need to go Sombra, when in reality, if they went Sombra, it would be more effective than if the Sojourn switches off to go Sombra? You know what I'm saying?
This ends now.
Because this is a pretty good Sojourn map. That was one of those, you just miss your shots in your ultimate, and it could have been better. So. What rank is this? Plat. Well, yeah, I mean, they're going to have more damage and stats because they're on Bastion, right? Like, I mean, I could probably go Soldier 76 every game, and as long as I don't get headshot, I could probably farm a bunch of damage. It doesn't mean that I'm getting the full value, right? You know what I mean? This is PC. Yeah. Just to kind of give you, like, an idea of your gameplay. I don't even think you're doing anything, like, terrible. I think it's more along the lines of you just need to set up better. Like, go top left. Go top left. Why be up here right now? Go top left, you can escape out. Yes. You look there. Okay, you can take the stairs if you need to. Don't let that play... You had the right idea. Don't let your misplay disrupt where you want to go. Like, go somewhere, like, at an angle. Right? The reason why... Okay, and I'm going to show you why I like the top left spot. Because if you go top left, okay? Let me explain why. If you go here, the Widow can kind of outduel you, right? Like, obviously, you can shoot the Widow, but you're not going to be able to kill them right away. But, like, go up here. Now you have an angle above them. And if the Widow wants to kill you, they have to take multiple angles here that your teammates can see them at, right? So... Like go up here as like a default play, and then if they all rush for you, you can slide out and go this way. You have the ability to escape out, right? So I would like to see you take like approaches like this. I mean, you can go here if you want, but like you'd have to play like this tight of an angle because of the Widow. So like take that opportunity, and you had the right idea, but like don't let you miss in the play like deter you from that, because I think you'll be better off setting up here than being on the low ground the whole time. And this isn't really more of like the always go high ground. I'm just more trying to set you up in spots that will be good for you, and this is a good spot for you here. This also creates angles, so I always talk about how, like, creating angles in Overwatch is such an important part of the game. And when you are at an angle like this, right, and you're playing this angle, okay, and then your team's over here, they need to look in multiple directions. And this is why, like, I'm starting to implement the idea of angles in more spectating videos, is that you play that spot to make them have to look in multiple directions. So not only does it enable you to pop off, it also enables your teammates to pop off, and it makes it so they have to kind of spin in circles. The one thing I hate in Overwatch is when I have to spin in circles the whole time. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like spinning around, looking for everybody, doing all this stuff. So. I mean, this is opportunity to go take that top left right now. I'm telling you right now. So I'm trying to, like, outduel this Widow. Just go top left. Get that position. Prioritize, like, good positioning right now, rather than, like, kind of, you know, this is the default standstill behind the tank strat. All right? Good kill. Yeah, exactly. And once again, I don't think, like, mechanically I'm seeing, like, obviously, listen, everybody's gonna miss their shots. People are gonna have moments where, like, it doesn't go as well as it can, etc. Right? I'm gonna, like, we're gonna ignore a lot of that. Like, it happens. But, like, I really do think that you're a understanding, like, the strength of where your hero can benefit from away from being able to climb pretty quickly. And I want you to start thinking about that when you're playing now. All right? Because I think that's where I'm seeing your struggle, is that you're just putting yourself in okay spots that don't give you the window to be able to go and pop off. And now I see what's happening. So your Bastion is seeing the Widow pop off and automatically assumes that if you go Sombra and sit AFK on the Widow in the backline, it's going to change the game. But that won't necessarily change what's going on here, in my opinion. I think I don't know. I don't see it as much. Like, you could go Sombra against their Widow, but I would rather you keep the Sojourn. And this can also be just like game theory. Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but, like, I feel like you would go off the Bastion, go Sombra, and then leave the Sojourn to have that really good long-range threat, while also having the backline pressure. But if you go Sombra and then you have the Bastion, the follow-up that your teammates can have when they're on Bastion won't be as effective as what it would be on, like, Sojourn. So I guess that's the part that confuses me a little bit on, like, the Bastion, like demanding that, like, you go Sombra? I don't know. That's how I'm seeing it. Yeah, I don't think the Widow gets a ton of kills, but they, like, I think there's this thing where if a hero pops up on the kill feed once with 4 lambs, everybody assumes that's, like, that person's hard carrying. And as you've seen when I play DPS, I'll have moments like that, but if you watch the whole game, you know, you're not going to call it a hard carry sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Okay, now you're on Tracer, which, I mean, I don't mind this. You can 1v1 the Tracer, you can kind of help alleviate the pressure. So yeah, I don't mind Tracer here. Although I mean, this is gonna be a hot take, but, like, not a hot take. I think you're fine on Sojourn. Am I wrong? Like, the real talk is the only reason why you got rolled on Sojourn most of the time is because you basically played low ground behind your tank. That's it. Like, most times they got you was not because, like, you were playing bad or they were dominating you. It's because you just sat behind your tank. That's it. So I don't even think you, like, needed to go off of Sojourn here. Yeah, you did what I do. That 1v1 right there, it is something I'm learning more and more as I've been, like, you know, improving on my DPS, etc. Here's the one thing I've been learning a lot of. It's okay to use your recall. You do what I do, where, like, you're trying to really, like, outplay the other Tracer by not using your recall. But then I find that most Tracers use their recall and end up killing me anyway, because I delay so much time that all the chip damage, by the time I recall, I don't get any of my HP back anyway. So it's like, yeah, don't be afraid to recall there in that 1v1. I mean, they did good. How about you? All right, good first point. Not bad. Oh, also, I want to point out, you said they kept getting more adamant that you needed to go Sombra. I look at their comp right now, and I would once again say I have no idea where you'd want to go Sombra in this situation. Outside of maybe being able to EMP Mauga ultimate. But even then, you have a Bastion, so you, like, truthfully, Mauga ultimate loses so much value. Much better on the recall there, by the way. Mauga loses so much value on that ultimate to begin with because of a Bastion. You know what I'm saying? Like, a Bastion can straight up, yeah. Nice pulse. I mean, I saw the idea, so it's always nice when the Brig walks into it, right? Nice pressure on the Juno. Hey, good movement there, by the way. That was good movement. You see what I mean, by the way, chat, about, like, how mechanically, you know, obviously they have, like, times when they miss shots, etc. I mean, I do too. Like, right there, that Tracer movement was good. That was a good play. I like that. That was great. Good movement, like, clean free kill on Juno. Yeah, that was cool. Pedro, thanks for the Twitch Prime. Thank you, appreciate it. Maybe to stop the May cryo, but like even then, like that's like such a. If I mean the truth is, if somebody said, "Hey, go Sombra so you can stop the May cryo," like I don't even know why that would be like the last reason why I would probably go Sombra. You know what I mean? That's why I get confused by them like requesting that. It's just like I don't see where you would request the Sombra here, but I guess maybe against the Malga. Oh, I guess okay. Technically, okay. Let me rephrase this. Technically, you can EMP May out now, right? Right? Like technically, but like even then, like I once again think that there's more value out of just going Sojourn mid range or heck, even playing Tracer and putting backline pressure on, right? Sorry, I know I say technically with that one. It's more like you can, but like I still wouldn't make that the main reason why I go Sombra. Eh, good play. Trying to innovate your position, your team may get mad at you because they... Yeah, I mean, and once again, I think sometimes, like, that will... that's why you've also probably seen me talk a little bit less about, like, high ground as much. Every rank is gonna play differently, right? And that's something that I try my best to understand when I'm doing that. You know, sometimes if your teammates are all deciding they want to run in a straight line down middle, like, you going high ground may not really lead to... You going high ground may not lead to the result that it could in, like, a top 500 game. What I will say is if your teammates do like running it down mid, and like, for example, actually I can just pause right now. Like if your teammates, let's say that like, okay, like I talk about high ground a lot, but like you just can't go high ground, right? Because like, let's say in a plat game, your teammates just refuse to go high ground. They just don't want to. They don't like the idea of it. It doesn't work in their playstyle. So I get that. But like, what I would do in that situation is then work on where you can position with that type of stuff. So like, say your teammates want to run it down mid over and over again, and you're playing Ana, you can angle yourself like, you know, like this, to make sure that some of the sight lines don't get you, right? And I think that's more of what I'm trying to like look at now in some of these games is more about always find a good spot with cover and positioning that you can use in your games if your teammates don't want to go what would be considered like the optimal or best way to go about the map. That's what I'm leaning more towards now because I'm recognizing that I could tell you about high ground all day long, but if like your teammates refuse to go high ground or like they don't know how to use the high ground, it won't hold that same value as let's say a top 500 game, which is where for a long time like I was always look at high ground and realize like they won't be able to grab that same value because they're not going for it. So I'm learning on that side of things too, right? Like it's been something that over the year of like doing spectating videos, year plus now, yeah, I've had to adapt that a little bit on recognizing that each rank will play differently, etc. So yeah, and that like I can still provide tools that will be good for that, but it doesn't mean that it'll be able to apply right away. Yep. Here we go. Okay. I like Ashe here. Third point. I like this pick. This is good. Ashe is going to be good here no matter what because you have the range and like... Okay, I saw you went for the high ground clear right there. Be careful of like zooming in around that corner. Like check both corners before you zoom in. Good job going for high ground. You notice how there are Ashes on the high ground and something you have to worry about? This is why I wanted you to go on that angle before. Even if like even if you win this 1v1 or lose this 1v1, do you see the value that Ashe brought by just being over there? And like, I mean, that Ashe could have easily had the kill, vice versa. But do you see like the value that was brought by you being like, by that Ashe being there? How like you had to worry about that, right? You were 6 HP away from that being like a 1v1 that like now the other team. You see what I'm saying? So. And that 1v1, oh, I do the same thing. But like you cleared the high ground, you took it, and now you took the next high ground. This is excellent, by the way. Excellent rotation by you across the board here. Good job. Nice shot. Okay, just can you tell the other team to pause while you reload for a second? I I'd hide up here too. I don't think they know you're here. I like this. You might get a free good dynamite from up here. Be patient though. Be patient. This is good. Nice. I like that. Put pressure on their Torb. They fell away. Good job. Be careful now. Just drop down, drop down, drop down. You don't even have the coach gun that. Just drop. There you go. Nice. Good job. Well played there. I like the idea. Just be careful of bobbing. Excellent. Reason why you also bob in there too is Ryan just charged, so they're going to lose the value of that charge now too, so they can't even do that. Good trade. Ash's right side. They're probably going to have their own bob coming up, right? Or do they already bob and I missed it? No, they already bobbed and I missed it. Okay, my bad. Nice job. I don't really have, like, anything there that I'm, like, I can over-critique in that sense. Like, I think, like, obviously you missed a couple shots, but, like, I'll play Ashe and I'll miss a couple shots. You know what I mean? Like, that's, like, that happens. So, what I'm confused by here is that even after this, the Bastion keeps saying that if you go Sombra, we'll easily win the game. And that's the part I just don't understand here. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't see it where, like, the Sombra would be the make or break of this game. I mean, maybe I'm just not seeing it. I don't know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Did they hack the Torb turret? Oh, true. Yeah, there you go. Honestly, I see people go Torb to counter Sombra nowadays because it can help with, like, you know what I mean? As the Bastion switched to Alderness, I think they only play Bastion. I think they only play Bastion. So, like, it's one of those situations where, like, they won't swap, but they want you to swap type of situations. You know what I mean? I think that's what's going on there. Backline pressure is fine for now. You said you found a comfortable sense and control layout as you just commit and stay on the grind at this point? Yeah, essentially. I mean, like, you can always adjust your sensitivity if you feel like. It also depends on playstyle. Like, if you're going to, like, say you're, like, a player that just, like, has really good movement and, like, you have a low sense but, like, a very steady aim and, like, style and movement, like, yeah, of course that works. But, like, I like high sense because I'm a very, like, I play very fast. So when I play fast, it helps me do the things that I want to do with high sensitivity. But, like, let's say that you're, like, very consistent, like, Ashe player who sits in the back, and your strength is more about positioning, right? Like, yeah, I see what you're doing there. It is what it is. And, like, your strength is more positioning and steady aim in the back, then, like, you know, lower sense will make sense for you, right? You can still play in high sense, but I get why if you go low sense. So I think it's very much preference. That will always be my answer. Like, there's no, like, I've seen people play games in the most... Oh, nice job. They got off the cart. We'll take those. Like, I've seen people, to kind of, like, summarize on that, I've seen people, you know, switch their sensitivity or play in a high sense and then, like, also play inverted with their mouse and their desktop, like, their mouse pad is their desk that has, like, a few divots in it. You know what I mean? But it still works for them because it works for them, and that's the most important part, right? You get what I'm saying? And some people even play with arrow keys. Hey! They sound super smart. What am I? You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see how your attack goes. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a few minutes left in this game. Just to reiterate this point, I still do not think that Sombra would have made this game easier. It might have actually made it more difficult. If I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hey.
I'm gonna be real with you. I actually think Sombra might have made it more difficult for your team because look at their comp. To find value against what they're running, like, it would have been tough. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. Does anyone change sense for each hero? So I'll pause for a second. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that I've seen it go either way. I've seen top tier professional players have different sensitivities based off of projectile and hit scan. Like, I knew players that were, like, really good hit scan players, but when they wanted to play Genji, for example, they would up their sensitivity by 5 because they're more steady on their hit scan, but on their projectile heroes like Genji, they need to play faster, so they would up their sensitivity greatly. And they're not worried about the muscle memory of the aim there because the way they're going to play the hero is not the same way they would play like Cassidy or Tracer or Ashe, right? Like the way they would play it is so different. So there's Overwatch is one of those games where, like, let's say, let's say you're playing Valorant, you may not switch your sensitivity a ton, right? Because you want to be consistent because while you have abilities and things, a lot of the agents in Valorant are going to be pretty consistent with how everything is, right? Obviously, you're going to have movement, like speed, stuff like that. But like Overwatch is a game that has so many different hitboxes, so many different movement abilities. So I don't. If for some reason you need to up your sensitivity on Genji by 2, because like when you play Genji, it's not as good if you play Soldier 76 and your aim's off. It makes sense, right? Like to shift it a little bit if that's gonna make sense for you. But yeah, the idea of like, yeah, you don't want to like move your sensitivity around can make sense for a lot of games because yeah, the muscle memory. But even then, like I'm a player that until I find the right sensitivity, my aim isn't gonna be as good. So it might take you time to find the right sensitivity. It's funny because people go like, how do you get good at games? Like what's how do you get better at games, etc. What's always worked for me every time is when I find the right sensitivity. It's never about like my knowledge of the game. Like that comes with time, that builds over time. It's always the sensitivity. And once I find it, that's when I get good at the game. It's like an example is Apex. Like I've never been able to find my sensitivity. I'm okay at Apex, but I know that if I found the right sense, I'd be a lot better. Things like that. Anyway, sorry, I know that was a little bit off topic of the video, but yeah. Anyway, let's head back here and see how it's going. Well, some players on like Mercy will change their DPI for reses and stuff too, right? Because you mentioned like Mercy sensitivity. Some people will switch their DPI, so when they go for a res, they spin a lot faster to make it a little bit harder. That's the thing. Good high ground control here is Ashe. Yep. Good job. That Maug is out of position. That's a free kill for Bastion. I was gonna say, there's zero chance. Good job maintaining this high ground. Whether, by the way, you could have went up to where the Ashe is, but I still like that you maintain that part of the map. Just to kind of put that out there.
There's not much time.
You still have 20 seconds. Your team can get out. Your team can still win this. Everybody needs to get out, though. I think your Winston's going to be fine. This is good. Yep, correct spot to go, by the way. Go top left now. Go top left or take server control with the Ashes. I think you go top left now. You know the Ashe isn't there. Top left, top left, top left, top left. No. You have a Winston. Oh, no. I don't know if there was communication in your game, but your Winston was all set up for that. Okay, you went top left, too, but, like, you want to go this way. But you went to go to the car. Go this way, go up here, and just sit up here. See this angle here from up high? This is really good right here. Right here. That was a miscomm, though. Somehow you thought you needed to go to point. Unless your Winston told you otherwise, that was not going to be ideal. In my opinion. The funny part is it's still winnable for your team because you can nano they can nano the Bastion right now, which is what they did, and then you can get the point, and if the Bastion can... Oh, no, the Bastion fell over immediately. Okay, never mind. Yeah, you won't be able to get the point. Well, you lost that game. Now, obviously there was things you could have done, and I think we kind of summarized that. Like, I want you to start taking more angles. I want you to... just take more angles, things like that. I think your default positioning, like to just sit behind your tank, is not going to work as much with sniper heroes, especially like Sojourn and like Ashe, etc. So I would definitely say for you, improve in that area. I think like if you do that, you're going to see a steady climb. I saw a lot of really good moments out of you and movements and like plays that I was like really happy with. I was like, okay, this is really cool. And other moments that can be fixed, but that will come with time. To answer your question about would Sombra have made this game easier? No, I think that, and I think Sombra might have made the game worse for your team, because if you're so reliant on your Bastion putting all the pressure on their team, and you have to play this like Sombra play style, like if you have this like Sombra play style where you have to like find the right moments to set up, how do you do that when they have a Torb turret in the back line and they're all playing very defensive? Like, you're not going to find any value. And, like, the argument from people could be like, well, they'll pull backline pressure. Like, they're all going to, the backline's going to, like, heck up, or they're going to, but, like, the problem is that the Sombra will still, the Bastion will still have the same struggles against that. So I don't see where that would have made a difference at all, to be honest with you. Like, I would have liked to see if any of the combos should have changed. It should have been the Bastion goes to Sombra, and then you stay on a hero like Ashe or Sojourn. But even then, I don't think the Sombra was necessary at all. I don't think that was the case. So that part's a little bit confusing to me because I don't see where the Sombra was like, listen, if there was a wrecking ball maybe diving your team and it was causing like, you know, wreaking havoc on your team, and like the idea is that you hack the ball and the Bastion kills the ball. I can see a little bit of that, but it just sounds to me like the Bastion dives a Sombra a ton and then gets mad if their teammate doesn't go Sombra or something. I have no idea because I don't see where the Sombra would really change how the game went because of how the other team played. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but that's what it looked like to me. Anyway, work on the things that we mentioned to you. You got this. You can absolutely climb. You got this. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't, leave a comment. All of that helps. If you want to submit your own spectating, look in the description below. You see my Discord. That is where you do that. Join my Discord. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch channel, the webcam. Also, you see on YouTube and stop by if you haven't. We have a lot of fun there. With that being said, I hope you have an amazing day/night.